Pepper says, "Do you want to know why my mom hoarded for so long?" Well, she's about to tell you why. Hi everyone, welcome back to Hoarder's Heart. My name is Miss Hart, and on this episode, we're going to be talking about the top 10 reasons why I hoarded. I created this channel because I really wanted to humanize hoarding disorder so that people can truly understand the mentality behind this stuff. So that's why I felt to share on my heart that it was very important to give you the top 10 reasons why I hoarded. Now, other people may have other reasons because they have different past experiences than me, different trauma, different just thought processes. And I'm not only just have hoarding disorder, I have anxiety and ADHD. So those factors play a different part in my type of hoarding. So without further ado, let's get started. So let's start with that list, reasons 1 through 10. The first reason why I hoarded was because I wanted to be resourceful. When I was a young girl, when I was a child, my parents taught me to be resourceful and not wasteful. And honestly, that was a great skill to teach their daughter. But what they didn't know back in the 80s was that their daughter was ADHD, had the hoarding disorder gene, and also had anxiety. So they weren't aware of those things. I kind of struggled with organization and categorizing, and I didn't recognize the boundary between being resourceful and then hoarding. So because that boundary was never established, I just saved and saved and saved and saved until you see the piles that you had seen in my house today. Number 2 on the list is that I wanted to keep items out of a landfill. And this does tie in with being resourceful. When I was younger, it kind of like broke my heart, and it still does to this day, when school would show you the landfills, pollutions, and the animals and people that were just affected by these environmental changes. And it really saddened my heart so deeply. So I didn't know what I could do. How could I help save the earth? And in my mind, I thought, oh, well, I can still hold on to being resourceful and save these items, which meant I could save trash because I was very much into recycling and upcycling, and I could take something that was trash and then turn it into something that was treasure. That ignited my creative side because I am a creative soul. So I thought, I'm just going to hold on to everything so that I can have the opportunity to create this into something new. Then I kept it out of a landfill, and then in my heart feels like, wow, I did something to save the earth and to give away or use again to make me feel good about myself. Number 3 on the list is that I wanted to save money. Now, this is a very popular one amongst most people with hoarding disorder. Back in 2008, when that recession hit, me and my hubby were very young. There was a lost job, and we had a newborn baby. So I was home with my newborn baby. But we were struggling financially horribly. We were so strapped for money. So in my mind, I thought, oh, it's time to save, because saving items is going to rescue us again. Because if I save all these items, even if we're not using it and haven't used it in well over a year, 2, 3, 5, we already have it on hand. My husband does not have to go out and work extra overtime and a second job because I already have the items squirreled away. And for me, that felt like I was providing for the family while I was home taking care of my newborn baby. Number 4 on the list is that I am a very creative, artistic soul, and it was a way to express myself. Ever since I was a little girl, I always drew and painted and had this wonderful imagination that never left me. I would craft and draw with anything that was in my room. It had the potential for me to create something new and another part of my self-expression to the world. So everything had the potential to be created into some marvelous artwork. Number 5 on the list is that it was a distraction for me. As I said before, when I was a little child, I had a wild imagination and wonderment of the world, and that carried into adulthood for me. And let's be real, when you're an adult, it can be a lot more stressful and fearful, and that ignited my anxiety. So by holding on to all the happy knickknacks and mementos of my past that represents all of that happiness, it was an escape for me. And because of that escape, it also ignited my hyperfixation with my ADHD. Because if you have ADHD, you know with the hyperfixations, there's something that you're just so interested in and you could be focused on it for hours. And it's that escape from reality. Number 6 on the list is nostalgia. A lot of you know that I really had a wonderful childhood in the home. I had 2 parents that loved me very much and were very supportive. And because I have such beautiful early and middle childhood memories, it brings back these emotions of comfort and pure joy. Plus, I am ADHD and I really don't have the greatest memory. I really don't. So when I have all of my childhood items and I hold them, not just see them, it's a holding, having the actual item from my childhood, it just ignites the most happiest, blissful memories, and it comes alive in my mind, and I can see and feel and smell basically everything. All right, number 7 on the list is that it calmed my anxiety. So I have anxiety and I've had it since I was younger. And now we're going to start to tie in the anxiety with the nervous system. So because number 1 through 6 had such happy, joyful attachments to all of my childhood things, and then growing into my teen years, over time, it started to code, my nervous system started the code that, oh, when I'm feeling anxious and scared and stressed and fearful, what has always saved us? All of my belongings, because it ignited all those beautiful memories. So now, to regulate myself, to calm my anxiety, I'm going to do what has worked my entire life since childhood, and that is go to my hoarded items and save and self-soothe. This was how I coped with my anxiety. This is how my nervous system was wired since childhood. It knew that when the alarms went off, we self-soothe with the hoard and all the stuff so that I can go back to that happy place. Number 8 on the list is that it self-soothed my PTSD. Again, now we're going really into the mental health sector of this. So there was 2 times in my life that I would consider caused some deep-rooted trauma within myself. The one time was when I was in middle school. It was like 6th through 8th grade, those 3 years. I was so badly bullied. And I was always a very sweet, sensitive girl. I never wanted to hurt anyone or cause any type of confrontation. So after being bullied in school, I would go home and escape in my bedroom. I never told anyone, and I kind of wish I did, but I didn't. I escaped in my bedroom and would be with all the things that made me happy. All of my toys, I was older, so my plushies, I still liked plushies and all that, but my posters, and I would draw and create, and all of that happy stuff was an escape from being bullied. I was abused by an ex-boyfriend, physically, emotionally, and mentally. And it was bad. And I was old enough because I was working. So I would buy all the pretty little items, all the pretty bracelets, all the pretty clothes and stuff, to remind myself that you are beautiful. You are worthy. You are not the things that this jerk is saying that you are. You are none of that. So again, an escape, and the items saved me again because I didn't go into a deep depression. It prevented me from going to this depression, and it made me feel safe again. Number 9 on the list is that the hoard has always made me feel safe. As you can tell, there was a pattern since childhood. It was always reconditioned that this stuff ignited my creativity. It kept me safe when I was scared and fearful. And the other thing was that it was always there for me. But I knew that this stuff, the items, were always there. They never left me. They never hurt me. It was always there to make me feel safe and secure. I always joked and called it my fortress, right? It was my fortress of stuff to keep me safe from the dangers and the pain that was out in the world. All right, number 10 on the list is that it's a mental disorder. At its root, it's its own mental disorder. It's normally alongside anxiety, PTSD, OCD, depression, ADHD. It's normally alongside another disorder that someone is experiencing. All right, everyone, so there you go. Those are the top 10 reasons why I hoarded. And the reason why I really wanted to make this video was because society has really placed some harsh stigmas on people with hoarding disorder. And I just want to humanize it so that everyone truly understands why. Why would someone hoard to the point of their home being almost unlivable? Because once you understand the mentality about it and the emotions, you can now start to connect the dots to be like, I understand, because I have trauma, I have stress, and I use this to self-soothe. So now I understand that you just used hoarding to self-soothe. And once people start to feel accepted and understood, that's when they start to seek the help. Because I never sought therapy or help or told anybody about it because I was afraid of the judgment. And because I was so afraid of the judgment, it triggered my anxiety. And my anxiety was triggered, so then I'm going to do what? Hoard some more. So by opening this conversation and putting it out there, my story, my hope and my prayer is that this helps people with hoarding disorder get help, and that their family members can now understand the mental disorder so that we can now heal relationships again. And my hope, my prayer is that this video motivated and inspired you to either declutter or start your own recovery too.